Hey, everybody, and welcome to week 7 of Introduction to Child Development. This week, we continue with our study of the preschooler, and we have moved from physical development to cognitive and language development. Those are lumped together because developing language is part of the cognitive abilities of the brain. So those go together and are so important. The cognitive abilities really depend a lot on the development of language abilities. So they are very intertwined. It also includes, as you can see in this picture here, this girl playing at a pretend grocery store. Cognitive development also includes the use of symbolic play. There are lots of cognitive developments going on while children are playing, and especially while they are pretend playing and symbolic play. So I hope you enjoy this chapter and just think that it's fascinating to learn how their little brains are working and developing. So hopefully when you're done with this module, you can compare and contrast Piaget and Vygotsky's beliefs about cognitive development, explain the role of information processing in cognitive development, discuss how preschool-aged children understand the world around them, put cognitive and language milestones into the order in which they appear in typically developing children. Again, typically, we have these milestones as a gauge to look at, but we've always got to look at the big picture. We're not trying to lump everybody together. We're just trying to use them as guidelines to know to plan what we're going to do with them and to know if there are big gaps or a lot of gaps, that there might be some things we need to look into. We're going to discuss how early childhood education supports development and how our understanding of development influences education. And we're also going to describe how autism spectrum disorder, including characteristics and sorry, I had an extra word there. Describe autism spectrum disorder, including characteristics and possible interventions. So let's take a look at the module. You're going to read chapter 8 in your textbook. So here's a link to it, but you also probably have the whole book downloaded already. And there are quite a few videos for this week, but that's because there's so much to learn. None of them are insanely long. Here we've got Piaget information, language development, early childhood education, and then so these are all more lecture style videos, and then we've got our required supplemental videos. Again, none of these are very long, but they help you really see what's going on in action. So please make sure you watch those, and there should be some questions on the quiz over them as well. And then you've got several optional videos. Of course, you don't have to watch them, but they can help you be even better at what you do. So why not spend just a few minutes watching them? And they're always there for you to go back to too if you don't have time this week. We'll still have them. So that's the videos that you're going to watch. You've got a chapter quiz, like I just mentioned. You have this assignment. The California Department of Education has many publications to provide information to early childhood educators. Unfortunately, the state of Oklahoma does not have nearly as many resources as the California Department of Education does. So sometimes we rely on what they've got published online. One of those documents is the integrated nature of learning, and it has a section that addresses how young children learn. So this is what it looks like. You see it's 79 pages long. I'm not asking you to read the whole thing. Just to look at one particular passage. So you get to choose one of the following sections from part 1. Part 1 is play, learning, and curriculum, how they fit together. Well, because we already know that children learn through play, right? So they learn through play, but we have to plan particular play that's going to help them grow. We don't just turn them loose and say, play, hope you learn something from it. We create opportunities to help them learn through play. So that's how they all fit together. And you're going to pick one of these that speaks to you. And then what you're going to turn in is you're going to identify which section you selected, and you're going to either summarize it in 2 or 3 good sentences, not simple sentences. If you're going to summarize a whole 5 pages, it looks like some of these are, it needs to be more than that. Or you could just put specific points like in bullet form. They would still need to be complete sentences, and they need to be in your own words, paraphrased, not copied and pasted from the document. Then for your number 3, you're going to connect what was in this section to something in chapter 8 of your textbook. So explain specifically your correlation. In page such and such of our textbook, the author writes about blah, blah, blah. This connects to what I learned in this way. Okay, so that is your assignment that you're going to turn in. And then you do have a class discussion. You're going to pick one of these topics. This one has to do with your textbook. This one you've got a link that you can use, but you could also relate it to information in your textbook. Same with this one. And then same as always, sorry, by the deadline, you're going to respond to at least 2 classmates' posts and have a little back and forth there. Don't forget, you still need to include an artifact, something this week in our learning made you think of and you want to share. I'm getting sometimes some pictures. If you're going to share a picture, I would like for you to have a really good reason for why that is a good and meaningful picture for this topic. Otherwise, we're looking more at links to websites, videos, maybe resources you already use and just want to share with your classmates because you think they could benefit from it too. Just anything that you think relates to this week and your classmates would find useful. An artifact with a description. So that is your discussion.